Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Bill with the Rock Ministries, and I'm glad you joined us no matter where you are across the world, India, Asia, Indonesia, wherever you are. If I have seen where you're listening, I appreciate you and love you. Well, today I'm going to speak a word about how can we see ourselves in the story of the Israelites, in the story of when they were in Egypt, right before they went into the wilderness. And so in Isaiah 43:19, God says this. He says, I am doing a new thing and I am making a way in the wilderness. And so we talked briefly about how God uses the wilderness to bring new things. He did in Abraham's story. He did in Moses and the Israelites story. And right before Jesus started his ministry, which was definitely something new, he uses the wilderness in Jesus' story. And so he uses the wilderness. And today we're going to try to see ourselves, see God's people today all across the world in the story of the Egyptians. And so God wanted to take his people from Egypt to a land he will show them. And so today I want us to look at, well, what was it that God wanted to deliver his people from? What was the conditions in Egypt? Okay? And there were three things I want us to focus on. In Exodus 1:7, it says that the Israelites were prosperous. I mean, they were multiplying, they were prosperous, and they filled the entire land. So they were prospering in every way. They were multiplying, I think, both financially and in numbers, so much that the new Pharaoh was threatened. And in Exodus 6:7, God says, I will be your God, and you will be my people. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, and that I delivered you from the hand of Egypt. And so, although they were prosperous, they had lost relationship with God. They knew of God, but they didn't know God as Lord. They were relying on their own self, and they were focusing on the worldly things, and they had lost sight of God. So they were prospering in the world, but they were dying inside and did not know God, because God wants us to know him. So God allowed oppression and slavery to come on them, so that what was the purpose of the slavery? Why did God let his people go into slavery? Because God wanted his people to remember him, to turn back to him and off of their prosperity. Okay? And it was only then that the people cried out to God, remembered him, and cried out. And that was when the Lord answered. So where do we see ourselves, brothers and sisters across the world? Do we see ourselves in this story? If God does not change and people don't change, we can see ourselves in this story. Are we in the same boat? I believe we are. I believe we are. I believe we focused on ourselves. We focused on our ministries. We focused on our prosperity. And I believe we're in a very similar position. And because of those things, just like the Israelites, we don't know God the way he wants us to. He wants an intimate relationship. He wants us to know him and be one with him. And so he's bringing us into a season. This is what the condition of the Israelites were before they went into the wilderness. And I believe we see ourselves in the story if we have ears to hear and eyes to see. So I hope you do today, because the wilderness is a beautiful place and God is doing something new in our world, in your life, and we are his people and we can trust him. Be encouraged today. I'm Bill with the Rock Ministries. Share this with your friends. Everybody needs encouragement. Everybody needs to seize that we serve a God who's still in control, who still loves us, and wants intimate relationship with you and everybody in the world. Take care. I'm Bill with the Rock Ministries.